G'day guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for round 19 of the season. If we have a bit of a look back at round 18-5 this week, as we can maybe see down here, as I haven't moved too far. It could have been a really good week. Unfortunately I went a bit too wild on a couple of upsets, but having said that, Gold Coast, Geelong might have been decent picks. But, anyway, we live to fight on another week and still, plenty to do to get some more respectability on the scoreboard. All right, let's get stuck into the picks for this week. And when we start our journey off Thursday night, this one's at Marvel Stadium, Essendon up against the Giants. And we saw the Bombers went down to the Tigers in the end. There was a couple of points in it from memory, or 8 or 9 points. Went down to the Tigers, and the Giants, comprehensive win over the Cats, 26-point winners. Could have been more at their home ground, and absolutely have the Cats on toast whenever they play them. Bombers, more injuries, more worries. Giants becoming off a 5-day break. Bombers probably won't be too far off that either, at least a 6-day break or 7-day break, probably even less. So I'll be, pretty comfortably going the Giants, and I think they'll win, relatively comfortably. What am I thinking? Let's go. I'll go 52 points. I think they'll get the job done nicely. And then we go to the Friday night game. We've got Brisbane up against the Bulldogs at the Gabba. A pretty enticing clash here, and a bit of an 8-point game, and potentially a season definer for the Dogs, who have a great percentage, but sitting outside the top 8 at the moment. Brisbane, they keep winning. When they last 3, they got the job done over the Blues, about 37 points in the end. Dogs, pretty competitive against the Crows, but weren't able to get the 4 points on the board. Went down, I think it was pretty close. I think it was 11 points. 11 points it was. Going to go to the Lions at the Gabba. They've had a good measure over the Dogs of late too, in good winning form at home. Top 2 team. Dogs haven't been able to beat teams in the top 9. Have been close, but haven't been able to ultimately get the result. So I think unless they decide to change their back line, they might still get those same results. Then we go have a look forward to Saturday. We've got Hawthorn hosting Port Adelaide. This one will be at UTAS Stadium. Hawthorn, very gallant against the Dockers, but weren't able to escape with the win. They went down. I think it was pretty similar. I think it might have been 11 points there as well, 13 points. Then Port Adelaide, they just got the job done over the Eagles. They were with them for 3 quarters, and then Port Adelaide were able to brush them away late in that final term. It was about 4.5 goal win in the end for Port Adelaide. They haven't played at UTAS for a while, and I know in general Port Adelaide have a great record against the Hawks, but that's because they've played the last several at Adelaide Oval. I don't think they'll be able to beat them at UTAS. I think, Hawthorn have showed some pretty good form, albeit they went down to the Dockers only just after leading throughout that game and falling away late. So, Hawthorn at their home deck. Port Adelaide, very mixed form, win-loss, bit all over the shop, and hanging on by a thread, injuries galore. So I'm going to back in the Hawks. Then we go over to the SCG. We've got Sydney. They are hosting North Melbourne. Sydney had a very close win over the Saints, about 5 points in total. And North Melbourne were pretty decent against the D's, but then fell away probably towards the end of that third term. And went down, I think it was about 30, 40 points in the end in favour of the Demons. So if we have a look at the Swans, I'm happy to go those guys at their home ground, much more accomplished, on the way up, looking pretty good. North, they're having their moments, but I don't think they're quite capable of going on the road and beating a side like the Swans, who are probably in some of their better form and better touch at the moment. Then we go to the MCG. This one will be the Saturday night game between Carlton and Melbourne. The Blues went down to the Lions. About, as mentioned earlier, 37 points, thereabouts. D's got the chocolates as well over North Melbourne. What do we got here? It's such a tough game to pick because I don't trust either of these sides. at the moment. Both have only won one of their last 5. So, yeah, take your pick. I'm going to go Carlton. It's almost an upset here, I guess. Don't quite trust Melbourne, but yeah, we'll see what happens. It's very hard to trust Carlton, but they have to respond at some stage. You're due for a win. All right. Next game we've got West Coast up against Richmond. This one will be at Optus Stadium again, the Saturday night game. West Coast, they were pretty gallant against the Port Adelaide Power for a good 3 quarters. Fell away late. And then Richmond outlasted the Bombers in what was probably one of the worst games of all time. They got 4 points and they got their 4th win of the season. Going to back the Eagles in. Home deck advantage here. They almost defeated them earlier in the season at the MCG. Whilst they are down a couple of key personnel up forward, I think, Eagles should be getting this job done at home for a side that's also rebuilding. Then we go Sunday game, and I'm surprised at the odds here. But yeah, Geelong hosting St Kilda. Yes, down at the Cattery. Geelong went down to the Giants. I always get the Giants and the Suns mixed up somehow. 26-point deficit in the end, and the Saints were looking pretty good against the Swans, but they just weren't able to get across the line and fell away by 5 points. Have to go to the Cats of the category. They lost 2 of their last 3. Played some pretty good opposition, all considering. Should be getting the job done, but I see this going down to the wire. Hopefully, Geelong get the job done, but I suspect it'll be probably between that 2-4 goal margin. With how Ross has his life depending on beating Geelong. If he doesn't beat Geelong, it's almost like he's gone. But do definitely expect a bit of a scare. Then we've got the MCG hosting Collingwood and Fremantle Sunday afternoon. Collingwood went down to the Suns Friday night in an absolute classic, one of the best games of the season. 6 points in the end to the Suns. And the Dockers were able to find a way over the Hawks, 13-point winners in the end there. Collingwood, MCG, they'll bounce back. I can't remember the last time the Dockers defeated the Pies at the G. Would have been a very long time ago, I think. Definitely hasn't been recent. So, I expect them to bounce back and get another win notched under Craig McRae. Then we have a look at the final game of the round. We've got Adelaide. They are going to host the Gold Coast. And that's a nice little rhyme there, inadvertently. We've got Adelaide. They went to Marvel, able to get the 4 points over the Dogs, pinch them off the Dogs. The Suns, as mentioned before, 6-point win after being up by 40 points. Pies got back in front, but then they were able to kick a couple of centre bounce goals and get the win. It was 1 point the difference last time, and it was absolute classic game. There was definitely lots of fire going on with Philthorpe and Mac Andrew. But I think it's going to be the Crows having the last laugh this time at their home deck. They're a pretty formidable opponent. Gold Coast, not as good away from home as we've seen. They've definitely improved year on year in that department, but I expect, the Crows to be way too strong with their forward line, which is quite dynamic and bulky. Home deck, is basically whoever plays at home wins the game there. I've gone a lot of home teams in this sort of format. All right, let's have a look. So we're going not Gold Coast, GWS, goodness. Then we got Brisbane, Hawthorn, Sydney, Carlton, then the West Coast, Geelong, Collingwood, and Adelaide. To round out round 19 of the season. Those are my picks for the round coming up. Should be an interesting round. Comment who you think's going to win over the weekend. Interested to hear any upsets that you've got in mind. Comment those as well. Yes, very enticed by what you guys have to say there. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe away so you can see how I am picking my teams each and every week. Really appreciate you joining in. Thanks again for sticking around, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.